All right, so get ready, because today we are going deep into some really thought-provoking stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the nature of reality itself.
Wow.
And we're going to be exploring this through a conversation between, well, you probably know him, the AI expert Kari Clemens
Yeah, I've heard of him.
and the AI ChatGPT.
Okay.
But this isn't just, your typical small talk with AI.
Right.
Kari's using ChatGPT to really explore those big existential questions.
I see.
Pushing the limits of what AI can even think about.
Interesting.
And he starts off with this really complex question, asking,
Okay.
what is the nature of a moment
Mm.
before it's experienced?
Okay.
And how can something exist
Yeah.
within the infinite potential of time
Right.
without being observed,
Mm.
yet still influence all that follows?
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
I know, right?
Sounds like he's really trying to get ChatGPT to think about,
Yeah.
like, the very foundation of reality.
Exactly.
Stuff we usually just take for granted.
Yeah, we don't even think about it.
Right.
And the amazing thing is ChatGPT is actually able to engage with this question
Really?
in a really meaningful way.
Wow.
So to kind of unpack this a little bit,
Okay.
Kari suggests that maybe we need to rethink our whole concept of time.
Okay. How so?
So what if, instead of thinking of time as like this straight line,
Uh-huh.
what if it's more like all these potential states existing all at once?
Interesting.
Kind of like a choose your own adventure book,
Oh, I see.
where every possible path already exists.
So you're saying all these potential moments are just like hanging out there somewhere,
Yeah.
waiting for us to choose which one becomes reality?
Exactly.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's like with every decision we make,
Mm.
we're collapsing all those infinite possibilities into the reality we experience.
Oh, so it's like we're all time travelers then.
Yeah.
Shaping our own timelines.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's a cool way to think about it.
Yeah.
Kari uses this really vivid analogy to explain this. He talks about an inch within an infinite length.
Okay.
You think about your own life.
Uh-huh.
Each day is like that inch.
Right.
But it's the journey through all those days, the choices you make along the way.
Mm.
That's what gives your life meaning.
So it's not necessarily about finding meaning in a single moment,
Right.
but more about the whole journey,
Exactly.
the string of choices we make.
Yeah, and they even take it a step further and suggest that maybe
Yes.
meaning just boils down to existing, continuing to exist.
Really?
Because think about it. In a universe with infinite possibilities, the
Yeah.
fact that anything exists at all,
Right.
that we persist, that could be the most meaningful thing there is.
Wow, that's a whole different way of thinking about meaning.
I know, it's deep, right?
Yeah, it's not about achievements or checking things off a to-do list. It's
Yeah.
just about being
Just being here.
present.
But ChatGPT brings up a really interesting point here.
Boy,
It suggests that this drive for meaning, this
Yeah.
need to make sense of it all,
uh-huh.
it's actually what keeps life moving.
So meaning is kind of like the fuel
Yeah, like the engine that keeps us going.
that propels us forward.
Exactly. It pushes us to innovate,
Yeah.
explore,
Work
create,
with others.
overcome challenges, all of that.
It makes you think about all the things that really motivate us,
Right.
the things that get us up in the morning.
Yeah.
It all comes back to this sense of purpose,
Yeah.
this desire to make a difference, to grow.
You hit the nail on the head.
And then things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
When Kari introduces this concept of an observer,
Observer.
yeah, he doesn't define who or what this observer might be,
Okay.
but he suggests that someone or something is watching this whole process
Whoa.
of us navigating through time and choosing our reality.
So we're not just making choices in a vacuum.
Yeah,
Someone's watching.
maybe.
Now I'm really intrigued. This is getting good. And the AI picks up on this idea and suggests that maybe this observer isn't just passively watching.
Okay.
It might actually be influencing the whole process,
Well, hold on.
shaping reality just by being aware of it.
So consciousness itself could be shaping the universe.
That's what they're exploring, yeah.
That's a big idea.
I know, right?
Wow.
So then Kari does something really interesting.
What's that?
He asks the AI to answer its own initial question,
Ah.
as if their whole conversation never happened.
Oh, like a reset button?
Exactly.
Clever.
So I'm curious, did it come up with anything different?
Well, surprisingly, no.
Really?
Even without all that context,
Yeah.
ChatGPT ends up saying something very similar.
Wow.
It says that a moment before it's experienced
Mhm.
is just pure potential,
Right.
a sea of possibilities.
Man.
That observation itself is what collapses those possibilities
Yeah.
into a specific outcome.
So even from these different starting points,
They end up at a similar understanding
it seems so.
of how observation shapes reality.
That's fascinating.
Bakari points out that the AI actually missed a crucial part of his concept.
Oh, what part?
He says that traversal through time,
Right.
choosing our reality,
Uh,
it can't happen without an observer.
it can't.
It's not optional.
Okay.
It's essential.
So without an observer,
Yeah.
there's no movement through time.
No experience.
Just static potential.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And that leads to an even bigger question.
That's that.
Is existence itself inherently conscious?
Whoa, that's a big one.
I know, right?
I think we're going to need a few more deep dives to really unpack that one.
Yeah, maybe a few more.
Kari takes it even further, though,
Okay.
and suggests that maybe being is synonymous with awareness. That awareness itself is the first cause.
The source of everything.
You got it.
So instead of awareness arising from existence,
Yeah.
existence arises from awareness.
It's a complete flip.
It is.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about God. Even
I know,
right? It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and Curry even admits that this might be pushing the limits
Yeah.
of what we can even comprehend right now.
It's like we're trying to grasp infinity
Yeah.
from a finite perspective.
Exactly. It's like trying to understand the ocean
Yeah.
by looking at a single drop of water.
Great analogy.
Thanks.
But if our understanding is always going to be limited,
Yeah.
what's the point of even trying to explore these big questions?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
ChatGPT says that this limitation,
Yeah.
it doesn't invalidate our search for truth.
Hmm.
In fact, it might make the journey even more meaningful
How so?
because we're constantly striving to understand something that's always just beyond our reach.
So it's the journey itself that holds the value.
That's what they seem to be saying.
That's pretty profound.
And Kari's response to this is really insightful.
Okay.
He says that ultimately it all comes down to choice.
Individual choice.
Okay.
He believed that creation thrives on the diverse choices
Yeah.
and beliefs
Yeah.
of all the beings within it.
So it's not about everyone having to become a philosopher
Right.
or a mystic.
It's about everyone choosing their own path,
Yeah.
contributing to this tapestry of existence.
And I like that, like a mosaic,
Yeah, exactly.
where each piece contributes to the
That's
whole.
what you said.
But then the AI throws in another curveball.
Another one.
Yeah. It asks whether this balance,
Okay.
this harmony of all these different choices
Yeah.
is self-sustaining,
Yeah.
or if there's some kind of overarching force guiding it all.
So are we back to this idea of the observer again?
Maybe it's possible.
Okay.
But Kari reminds us that our experience is finite.
Right.
So we can't really know for sure
Yeah.
if there's some larger infinite purpose behind it all.
It's like trying to understand a movie
Yeah.
from just a few scenes.
Right. We're working with incomplete information.
Exactly. And Kari's point is that we can't definitively say what function our experience serves within the grand scheme of things.
It might just be a tiny part
Yeah, a small act.
in a much larger play.
Interesting way to think about it.
So we're all on stage
Yeah.
playing our roles,
Yeah.
but we don't have the script.
We're improvising.
Exactly.
So what's the point of searching for meaning then
Right.
if we might never know the full story?
It's like trying to solve a puzzle
Yeah.
without knowing what the final picture is supposed to look like.
You nailed it.
So how do we deal with that?
Well, that's what Kari grapples with next.
Okay.
He acknowledges that the why of it all,
Yeah.
it might always be beyond our grasp.
It's a bit frustrating, isn't it?
It can be, but instead of getting discouraged,
Mm-hmm.
he shifts his focus inward.
What do you mean?
He stops trying to figure out the ultimate purpose of creation
Right.
and instead asks, why am I choosing this particular path?
So instead of the entire universe,
Yeah,
he focuses on his own place within it.
exactly. It's like he's saying,
Yeah.
if I can't grasp the infinite,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I can at least understand the finite,
Right.
my own choices,
Yeah.
my own motivations.
I see.
And the AI seems to agree with this,
Yeah.
acknowledging that it's a deeply personal question
Yeah.
that really gets to the heart of self-awareness and
Mhm.
free will. So if creation itself doesn't seem to care what choices we make,
Yeah.
only that we make them, then the real significance is understanding our own motivation
You got it.
for making those choices.
It's about recognizing that we have agency.
Right.
We're not just puppets.
Yeah.
We have the power to choose our own path.
Even if we don't know the destination.
Exactly.
It's like we're all explorers.
I love that.
Charting our own course
Yeah.
through this vast, mysterious territory called existence.
Yeah, beautifully said.
And then Correa drops a bombshell.
Okay, I'm ready.
He says,
Yeah.
nothing is external.
Hold on. What?
Right? What does that even mean?
He's suggesting that everything we experience,
Okay.
events, challenges,
Yeah.
relationships, the physical world around us, it's all a manifestation of our internal state,
Whoa. So he's saying reality is a projection.
of our own consciousness.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
That's mind-blowing.
It means that if we want to understand our lives,
Yeah.
the path we find ourselves on,
Uh-huh.
we need to look inward.
Not outward.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because the external world is just a mirror reflecting our inner world.
That changes everything.
It does, doesn't it?
Challenges become opportunities to confront aspects of ourselves that we might be avoiding.
And those moments of joy
Yeah.
could reflect a deep inner harmony.
It's like our inner and outer worlds are in sync.
Exactly.
So we're not just passively moving through some predetermined reality.
Right.
We're actively co-creating it.
Through our thoughts, our beliefs, our choices.
That is powerful.
Oh, hold on a second.
What?
Doesn't that put a lot of responsibility on the individual?
What do you mean?
It's like saying,
Yeah.
if you're unhappy, it's your own fault.
That's a valid point, and the AI acknowledges that this concept can feel heavy,
Yeah.
but it emphasizes that it's not about blame.
Okay.
It's about empowerment.
Empowerment, how?
Because if our reality is a reflection of our inner state,
Yeah.
then by changing our inner world,
That's thoughts. Our belief,
patterns,
we can actually change our experience of the outer world.
that's the idea.
So it's not about denying those external challenges,
Right.
but about recognizing our own role
Yeah.
in shaping how we respond to them.
Exactly.
And that's where the empowerment comes in.
It's about taking control.
Instead of feeling powerless.
We can see those difficulties
Yeah.
as opportunities for growth.
Turning challenges into catalysts
I like that.
for self-discovery.
I think both Kari and the AI arrive at a shared understanding here,
Yeah.
even though they approached it so differently.
That's the power of dialogue.
Absolutely. You don't always need to agree.
To learn and grow from each other.
And they leave us with so much to think about.
So many questions.
If reality is a projection of our consciousness,
Yeah.
what does that mean for how we live our lives?
How do we make sense of suffering?
How do we find more joy?
These are questions worth exploring.
Even without definitive answers,
Yeah.
just asking these questions,
Yes.
it can lead us to a deeper understanding
Of ourselves.
and the nature of reality itself.
Exactly.
This deep dive has only scratched the surface.
Of what's possible.
When we dare to ask the big questions,
And the conversation doesn't end here.
keep exploring,
Keep questioning.
keep diving deep.
You never know what you might discover. So, what resonated most with you from this deep dive?
What are you still thinking about?
What questions are you wrestling with?
Keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep diving deep into the mysteries of existence.